everyone. A very warm welcome to all the participants to the sixth and the final day of our Atal AICT sponsored faculty development program on From Goals to Outcome, Designing Education for Measurable SDG Impact. We are truly delighted to begin today's proceeding with an insightful session by Professor Dr. Manjula Jain, our esteemed Dean Academics, Teerthanker, Mahaveer University. Professor Jain has been a driving force behind several academic initiatives and reform at TMU, including the successful implementation of NEP 2020 framework, the 4-year undergraduate program, and a strong focus on outcome-based education. Today's topic, interdisciplinary integration, breaking silos for impact, hold immense significance in the current educational landscape. As the world moves towards solving complex real-world challenges aligned with sustainable development goals, it has become essential to transcend traditional disciplinary boundaries. Interdisciplinary integration empowers educators and learners to think holistically, collaborate across domains, and design impactful solutions that combine technology, humanities, and social responsibility. Professor Jain's expertise and visionary leadership make her the perfect person to guide us through this vital discussion. Her early outcome-based education on received tremendous appreciation and sparked meaningful dialogue among participation about aligning educational outcomes with measurable student success. We are confident that today's session will once again inspire us to rethink our pedagogy, encourage collaboration, and reinforce the importance of breaking academic silos for more inclusive and impactful education system. Let's join together in welcoming our Dean Academics, Professor Manjula Jain, for this enlightening session. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Neha, for giving such a good start to the session. The last day of the session is, we can understand how much fulfilled also we feel. And we also want that this should come to a very fruitful ending. So I think only 66 people have joined. Let's wait for them to join. So let's start with the intro part, that what we are going to discuss about in this session. So good afternoon, everyone. Have you muted them? It feels good when we hear good afternoon in a resounding voice. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
So it's really a pleasure to be with such a vibrant academic community that we have today. And we'll be exploring how interdisciplinary integration can transform our teaching, our research methods, and institutional impact can be created out of it. So the theme that has been given to me for today's session is interdisciplinary integration. So breaking silos, I have added one more word, Neha, to this: sustainable impact. So because we are dealing with the SDGs, how can we create that impact which is sustainable, will make it more relevant for us to understand. So it aligns beautifully with NEP 2020, and we all are in the same fraternity. So we understand that how this NEP 2020 is now going to change the entire scenario of education in the higher education domain. And this is, again, I would say, the global call for holistic, problem-driven education. So we'll journey from understanding what interdisciplinarity means to how it looks in practice. And we'll also discuss some examples from IITs to very well-known global universities. And we will also see that how we as educators can foster this educational change within our own institutions. So with this, Neha,
yes,
I would request, can you please give us the introductory video so that we can set the ball rolling out?
Sure, ma'am, sure.
Student, Jake felt trapped in a single-field mindset, struggling to find a niche in his studies. Everything changed when he discovered the power of interdisciplinary collaboration during a joint project between the art and science faculties. By merging his understanding of biology with artistic elements, Jake created an innovative biodesign model, which earned him recognition in academic circles. Throughout his journey, he learned that breaking down field
Neha, please see that your screen
Yes.
is visible.
Yes, ma'am. Now, earlier the videos were in the audio mode. Now we can see
Yeah,
the video.
yeah. Please play it since, with the beginning.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, please.
As an isolated student, Jake felt trapped in a single field mindset.
Should I stop presenting?
Struggling as an isolated
Okay,
student,
ma'am.
Jake felt trapped in a single
Please stop sharing.
Yeah, let me. Now I think you can play.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
Yeah, please.
student, Jake felt trapped in a single field mindset, struggling to find a niche in his studies. Everything changed when he discovered the power of interdisciplinary collaboration during a joint project between the art and science faculties. By merging his understanding of biology with artistic elements, Jake created an innovative biodesign model which earned him recognition in academic circles. Throughout his journey, he learned that breaking down field boundaries and integrating diverse knowledge could lead to remarkable educational experiences. Jake's story highlights the importance of seeking knowledge across disciplines, encouraging students and professionals to embrace a collaborative mindset for personalized growth and unique innovations.
A diverse group of students enters a sunlit classroom to launch a community garden project that blends math, science, languages, and arts. They measure soil nutrients with simple calculus, predict harvest yields using statistics, and draft multilingual signs to welcome neighbors. A physics mini-lesson links sunlight to plant growth, while chemistry explains soil pH and chemistry-safe fertilizers. They design a shareable diary of progress in the style of a short story, publish a blog post, and practice persuasive speaking. Sunset, leadership roles shift, time management plans stay on track, and the garden becomes a living proof of interdisciplinary learning.
क्लास चल रहा है, यहाँ पे बताना ना बोलना, और तुम बाहर बैठ रहे हो अगर तो घंटी बजे तो खुद ही देख।
Yes, ma'am.
So I think the video has set the pace for the entire session. Now, before going into the presentation mode, I would now request all my participants to be active now for the quiz. So this time we'll be taking the quiz before the session to have an understanding on whether you all are having that kind of interdisciplinary integration in your institutions or an understanding of that. So all are ready, I suppose?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
we'll be going with the conventional mode, that is, you all can just put your answers in the chat box. We will not be taking up mentor-mentee as Neha madam has.
Ma'am, it is the request of our participant to go on the conventional mode only.
Okay.
Next time we will be having a FDP on advanced AI tools.
Okay. So is it visible to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So please take out your paper pen if you want to write it down, or your chat box should be open. So we'll start with a very small quiz, yet very interesting, and it will help you to go and have some insights into the today's session. So this is about how the waste can be turned into a wealth, and it is relating to the biogas project. So the question is, a university's engineering, environment, and management departments, they collaborate to convert food waste to energy and design a sustainability plan. So what does this reflect most clearly? A option, departmental project focused only on technical design. Interdisciplinary collaboration addressing SDG 7 and SDG 12. Entrepreneurship activity unrelated to SDG, or short-term event without measurable outcomes. Yes, Neha, which is the best answer that we are getting? Yes?
Ma'am, it is B in the chat box. Majorly, people are advocating for B.
That's the right answer. Round of applause for them. A good opening.
Yes.
The second question, that is waste to wealth again. What would demonstrate real interdisciplinary impact here? Report by one department only, installation of plant without evaluation, joint study linking technical, environmental, and business aspects with SDG outcomes, or yearly audit only? What will be the outcome?
Participants are writing C.
The answer is C. Very good.
Yes.
Then this is about rural hygiene campaign. Nursing, public health, social work, and media students, they conduct a rural hygiene drive. So which NEP 2020 principle does this best illustrate? Rote classroom learning, flexible, experiential, interdisciplinary community engagement, departmental segregation, or limiting stakeholder exposure?
B in the chat box, we are getting B.
Yes. Any other option?
All are writing B.
Okay, that's
All are
good.
with B.
Yeah. Good.
So it's a correct answer. B is
Yes.
correct one.
Which SDGs are primarily addressed in this particular campaign? SDG 1 and 2, SDG 3, SDG 8 and 9, or SDG 14 and 15. So before that, you should know what are the SDGs. So SDG 1 and 2, we understand what is that? SDG 1 is no poverty. SDG 2 is zero hunger. SDG 3 already written, good health, clean water, sanitation. 8 and 9, anyone? Decent work and economic growth. SDG 9 is, anyone? SDG 14, 15? Okay, I'll give you the hint. 14 is life below water, and 15.
Innovation 9 is for, SDG 9 is for innovation.
Yes, yes, very good. And SDG 15? Life on land.
Life on land.
Very good, very good. So the answer that I'm looking forward is?
Everybody voted for B.
Let's check.
B.
Very good.
B.
So I think there has been a clear understanding of all the SDGs on the last day. So the outcome again has been achieved. I'm going to be very hopeful now for the entire session. Case is a smart city data lab. Faculty from computer science, architecture, sociology analyze data to propose the citizen-friendly urban designs. This represents purely tech upgradation, policy collaboration only, integration of STEM plus social science for SDG 11, or computer simulation research only.
Our chat box is getting flooded with C.
Yeah, right. So see, this is how that we are able to now correlate all these SDGs with the concerns or the cases. And that shows that, yes, we are driving into the right direction. So this is case, again, here we have to have the measurement aspect. Which indicator reflects outcome-based impact? Number of lectures, number of proposals, improvement in air quality or policy adoption based on findings, or attendance of faculty.
We are getting C
Yes,
by all. By all, we are getting C.
very good. So it's not about D. Because AICT is going to take the outcome of this with the attendance only. Yes.
So big round of applause for our participant and the speaker, that everybody is on the same page and getting the clear understanding of the topic.
Yeah, I'm really very fortunate to have such an erudite participants. Now, the case is new course on climate change and human futures. Possible challenge to interdisciplinary rollout will be, if we want to introduce this new course, what will be the challenge to roll out this? Single textbook availability, faculty apathy, rigid credit systems and departmental silos, or student disinterest?
C.
This is something that we are facing on a very regular basis. Yes.
It's
C, ma'am.
C. Everybody is writing for C.
Yes. Very good. Sometimes we also have the other constraints also. But if we have C, then obviously the others include all of them. Very good. Policy enabler, this is for NEP 2020, which reform supports interdisciplinary flexibility? Academic bank of credits and multiple entry exit, mandatory single specialization, subject compartmentalization, or reduced industry links?
Our participants are going with A.
Yes, very good. So everybody knows about MEP and academic ABC. Yes, the answer is right. Now, this is for you to ponder upon. And this is the exercise that I would be giving to you. You can place this exercise towards your students also, that you have to identify one real world problem of your institution and that you could address through an interdisciplinary or the SDG link project. And this is a kind of brainstorming exercise that if next time we have this kind of opportunity, we can go with these kind of exercises also. So here comes the real gist of the today's session, that is why this interdisciplinary integration matters, and does it have any kind of impact on our real learning or not. So I think everybody has now come up with the understanding of the concept of interdisciplinary integration, and we also have to understand that how can we make it more lucid for us to understand. So I would say that we can imagine ourselves, just imagine, this is just a visualization exercise for all of us. And we all humans have this kind of ability to visualize the things very clearly. So please imagine that all of you are standing at the center of a wheel. And around you, you find that there are all the disciplines that we teach. Engineering, literature, sociology, data science, psychology, or economics, whatsoever is the course that you teach. Now imagine that each of these disciplines was a spoke, but the center was missing. So what happens to the wheel if the spoke is missing? It cannot move. So here comes that center, and that center is called the integration. So without it, knowledge does not translate into the wisdom, and education does not create or translate into an impact. So here we come with a very, very, burning topic, and that is the center that we are talking about, which is integration, and the world which is today called very much hyper connected. So problems are no longer, confined to only one domain. We all are living in this world, and we know that problems come into their multidisciplinary aspects. We all are fighting with the climate change, and we are finding that in 2025, so many climatic disasters have happened, and we are finding each and every one of them with a bigger intensity. So it's not just the environmental science that we have to talk about. It's also impacting the economics. It is also impacting the the psychology of the people, the sociology, the policy matters, the technology, and all the ethical issues are also interwoven. We have to understand that how all these disciplines can be combined together so that there is an essence of the interdisciplinary collaboration, and it's not a luxury anymore, I would say. But today we have to unpack this necessity through the lenses of NEP 2020 and SDGs also, as well as some kind of practical institutional models that we will be discussing today, in order to understand that how universities can transform learning from fragmented to integrated and from passive to purposeful. So let us move ahead. Let me just connect. But we all understand that since we are into that education world where we have some kind of silos existing today itself, and these silos, they are giving us a kind of uh, inhibitions in making our moves go successful. And let us all can be coming on to the reality check that our universities, we all know, is they are structured in the departments, or we call as faculties, or we call as the colleges. And there will be the faculty or the department of engineering, humanities, management, health sciences, education. And we have found that they are often operating like islands. I hope that everyone is listening to me and I am not sounding boring.
No, no, ma'am. We are
Yeah.
listening.
So wherever you find any kind of disconnect, please let me know through the chat box. And so we were just taking up the context of how we can have these challenges faced, and what are the common challenges that we find. So you know that the structure of the UGC, or so whatsoever is the statutory body or the council's requirement, we have to get our departments that we call as the islands now. But we know that in the real world, the problems are not happening in silos. They are not happening in the departmental boxes. If we talk about the climate change that we just discussed, or the mental health pressures that have emerged rigorously after this COVID, or the sustainable cities, we have the smart cities now. Artificial intelligence is now going into, I think, every domain, but the ethical issues are also likely to be considered in them. So these are all the cross-cutting issues. So that is why we see that although many of the accreditation agencies, they call for the cross-cutting issues, but are we really having such kind of departments where we can have such kind of interdisciplinary learning? And are we really ready to have this kind of integration or not? So if we take up the historical background of it, we all know that there were industrial revolutions. So education systems were designed for an industrial world. And if I say industrial world, that means there had been the industrial revolution 1, 2, 3, 4. So when we talk about the industrial revolution 4, that was the change that brought all such kind of requirements that we have to study beyond our departmental silos. So when we say that industrial 4.0, can anyone tell me, or can anyone put their remarks in the chat box, that what kind of challenge did this industry revolution 4.0 brought to us? Yes. Earlier we used to have super specializations, or the repetition, or the compartmentalization. But Industrial Revolution 4.0, that demands more of the knowledge economy. And if I say the knowledge economy, that demands a very different mindset. And different mindset, that would be having the combination of various attributes, like what flexibility do we have, what adaptability can we have, and what can be the synthesis out of all these attributes. So this is very important for all of us to understand that how we have to bring this kind of change in our education and how we can develop together. I would also love to share a report with all of you, which is by World Economic Forums Future of Jobs report. And this report was published in 2023. And this report declared that around 44% of workers' core skills, they will change by 2027. Now, what will be the most valuable skills that will be required in 2027? We are already into 2025. So 2027, they have said that analytical thinking or the systems analysis or the collaboration across disciplines, these are going to be the key skills that every human is required to possess. That is why in my earlier session, I said that as a teacher, are we really doing justice to our students when we tell them what to think, rather making them to understand how to think, and that how to think will stimulate their analytical thinking, critical thinking, or problem solving skill. And then they will be able to understand that how the collaboration across the disciplines can take place. So there is one more report, and there are very interesting findings out of this report. The UNESCO's Future of Education, that emphasizes that by 2030, more than 60% of global jobs will require interdisciplinary competencies. So when we say interdisciplinary competencies, that means we are preparing students for professions that don't even exist today, and professions that will emerge at the intersection of multiple fields. So this is really very challenging, and this is the most important challenge that we all have to take up as we have to prepare the future workforce. So I'll just give you one example of Finland. Although Finland is a very, very small country in terms of its geographical impact, but the kind of phenomenon-based learning model it has come out, that is very important to quote here. So Finland has abolished, I think many of you must be knowing it, and those who don't know, so this is a very kind of eye-opener for them. So they have abolished rigid system of subject divisions for a part of its curriculum. And for weeks, the students, they explore a phenomena such as the climate change or the migration. The teacher throws out any phenomena to them, and they are supposed to make their research without any time foundation. So to study it, what do they use? They might use physics to understand what is the science. They might use geography to explore, or the regional impact also they can look after. They can also study the economics to understand the cost structure, or the ethics also that can reflect on the global justice. So just like climate change is the topic given to them, but they have to look this whole topic from multiple perspectives. So what happens? The teachers, they co-design and they co-teach these modules, because one single teacher cannot take up all of these aspects. So as a result, what has happened? Finnish students, they have consistently been ranked amongst the world's top in creativity, in critical thinking, and in problem solving. So dear participants, this is not just a coincidence. We would say that it is the result of the systematic, or that is the most generic word, systemic integration. So in our classrooms, how do we often allow this kind of thematic experience? Do we have that kind of flexibility that we can make our students to go beyond their foundation of 4 weeks, 8 weeks requirement of the duration of each class? So how does it often takes place that an economics teacher co-plan a lesson with a biologist? Is it happening in our institution? And wherever it is happening, that is actually commendable. And we all have to think in this direction. And you know that most of all would agree with that, that our system discourages that, this kind of coexistence or the kind of co-learning or co-designing, but this is the call for the day. And limited perspective, innovation barriers, or the real world disconnects, they all have to be taken as a challenge if we have to combat with this kind of inhibitions. And I think government has already taken the cognizance of this challenge of silos in education, and they have come up with a very, very promising document, that is NEP 2020. And NEP 2020 and SDG 4, they are in alignment. And what they are changing, they are actually urging us to move from information to integration. Information to integration, and from rote learning to relevant learning. That is from rote to relevance. And being the management student, I always quote Peter Drucker, who had been a great management thinker. So he has said, innovations happen at the intersection of discipline, not within their boundaries. So whenever you have the intersection, then only you can come with the innovation. Otherwise, we will be just going around and around the boundaries that we have set in. So any question at this point of time? I think we all would agree that COVID-19, again, it has given us the whole platform to ponder upon that, yes, the success of any country's response that did not depend only on the doctors. It required, data scientists, predicting a spread, sociologists, they were studying the human behavior, and the psychologists, truly, they were supporting the mental health, and the educators, we were doing the online teaching learning. So the COVID-19 has been an excellent example where we could integrate all such domains. So any question here?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So how this NEP 2020 is, we call as the paradigm shift towards the interdisciplinary learning. Here, I would say when we move from STEM to STEAM integration, that is blending science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics to foster creativity alongside analytical thinking. So we can see that it has happened at the secondary level education, where the students are not now having such kind of streams like you have to opt for commerce or arts or science. Now they do not have that such kind of requirements. They can take any subject, any course that suits to their interest, and that leads to the inquiry driven learning also, as well as universal human values. That has been the core of the NEP 2020, and we have to take up it in all letter and spirit. So the problem that we had presently is the silo effect. So I'll again share a report's finding with you, dear participants, that in UNESCO's global survey, this global survey happened in 2022. So it's not very old. It found that around 72% of higher education institutions still function in a discipline-centric manner. So departments are often isolated. Budgets, they are also very separate. And if I say the faculty collaborations across the streams, that is, I think, very minimal, very rare. Although this is the report when that was published after 2 years of the announcement of NEP 2020. So still the institutions are evolving out of this NEP 2020 provisions. And OECD has also come up with the report that studies and suggested that from the rigidly single discipline program, we have 40% lower problem solving efficiency. So all those who are going with simple single discipline programs, their problem solving efficiency is much, much lower compared to those who are exposed to the interdisciplinary learning. So these are the findings from very, very reliable sources. And we have to understand that why does this happen? Because, when we teach in silos, students sometimes, lose sight of the connections. They find that how it is connected to us when we are studying all this, and they are not able to get that connection with the real world problems. They learn, again, I would say what, but not why or how. So we have to encourage more of such kind of curiosity that goes beyond silos. So I would say that every teacher, every faculty should work on 3 E's. What is the first E? I always say encourage. Encourage curiosity among your students that goes beyond silos. Second is empower your students so that they are actually the problem solvers, not the problem facers in the real life. And the third thing is let them embark on a journey that will make them to go towards the sustainable development. So the E's that are important for us as a teacher is encourage, empower, and embark. And I think that sometimes it happens that whenever, this is a very common real life example, that when a mechanical engineer, let us say, they design a flawless bridge, but if they lack the understanding of the local culture and the sociology, the project might fail because the public resistance might be there. Sometimes it happens that they do not understand the local psychology. In the same manner, whenever the economist of any country, they are drafting any kind of rural policy without any kind of ecological awareness, that actually might increase the income, but that might destroy the soil fertility. And we have seen that many of our environmentalists, they started Chipko Andolan and many other kind of resistances we have faced from the environment holists. And that gives us a kind of reflection towards why we should go towards the integration. We can have the consolidation of all these aspects also. So I think, I don't know how many of you have heard about the Polavaram Dam project in India. That was also the talk of the town, and technically it was very sound, but socially and environmentally that was very, very controversial, because the engineering planning wasn't paired with deep sociological and environmental analysis. And that is why this kind of fragmentation, not into real world, but also in the education, will lead towards the fragmentation in the solutions also. So this is very, very important, how you look at a particular problem. And I would just give you a minute exercise. All of you must, I think, have a kind of self-reflection. Please think, wherever you are putting up, whichever corner of the country you are putting up, think of one problem that is happening in your community and that cannot be solved by one discipline alone. So in that case, the real, analytical thinking, problem solving aspects come out. This kind of exercises may be given to the students when we are expecting them to work actually on the project based learning. So this is what the NEP 2020 gives us the set towards how we need to align our Indian education. So this is a perspective that has been outlined under the NEP 2020 document. And you can see that disciplinary boundaries are to be broken under the provisions, holistic multidisciplinary education, the formation of the MERUs, and you can see that IITs, they are also introducing so many interdisciplinary departments. So this, I would say that the national education policy that is recognizing this global shift, and it is arguably, I think, the most transformative policy since independence. And we all understand that when it was announced in its preliminary years, there were a lot of resistance that how we are going to do this. But gradually and gradually, the real impact of it will be observed by us by 2030. So still, many of them are not being able to outline how they are going to draft their curricular structures around the NEP 2020 perspective. So basically, it has the idea that it has to dismantle the rigid boundaries between art, science, commerce, and as an holistic ecosystem, we have to establish our institutions. And the ABC, that is the Academic Bank of Credits, that has also been formed, and the students now, they can collect their credits from diverse institutions. And the person anywhere from the south or the north, they can have a kind of integrative learning, making our education more modular, more flexible, and more personalized. The multiple entry and the exit system, that is actually ensuring our learners that they can pause and re-enter without any penalty, that is supporting their lifelong learning. But yes, we have to make the system very robust, This cannot be just implemented without a kind of brainstorming by all the stakeholders, so that we do not make any kind of fun or any kind of lightness should not come when we are going towards this multiple entry exit system, and people should take it in a serious manner. So I would also say that, beyond the structural reforms that this NEP has brought, it also called for a very, very philosophical change, that we all need to understand education must not only create the knowledge dissemination, but it should nurture the curiosity, the creativity, the critical thinking, and not just one expertise. So there are many universities and the institutions in country that I can quote for, and many of you must be having these kind of systems also in place at IIT Hyderabad and many other IITs and many other higher educational institutions like BITS Pilani or so. Engineering institution, these students, they are encouraged to take courses in the liberal arts or finance or design thinking as minor, and they can have the dual degrees also. So one can be having the finance in majors and the BTech CSN as also as a dual degree. So these are the two combinations which can make you a perfect person in any domain, having the knowledge of technology also and having the knowledge of finance also. So these are the few, combinations that we can offer. At Ashoka University, that is well known for its flexibility, political science majors, they can study with that data analytics, science students can explore environmental ethics, everything can be integrated there. So if I say that this blending of, cognitive, all the domains of learning, cognitive, affective, ethical, they all align beautifully with the SDG. If I say SDG 4, SDG 5, SDG 6, SDG 7 as a target, where we have to ensure that the learners acquire the knowledge and skills that is needed to promote the sustainable development. So as the NEP itself states, I think now all of us are having those important lines in our mind, that education must not only build the cognitive capabilities of the student, but also the social, ethical, and emotional capacities. So this is the paradigm shift that we are calling from qualification to the formation of any student as a holistic human being. So now when we call for the sustainable development goals, NEP 2020 is also aligned with SDG in terms of it, fundamentally reimagines higher education as multidisciplinary, holistic, flexible curricula, breaking rigid boundaries, and it envisions universities evolving into a very large, vibrant ecosystems where students, they can blend their courses. A music student learning with the data analytics, or an engineer exploring ethics, or fine arts or design. So there are various other examples. If you might have heard about IIT Delhi's School of Interdisciplinary Research that we call as SIRE, that supports PhDs, interdisciplinary research that spans the departments across, like biomedical devices. They are created jointly by the mechanical engineers and the doctors. And at the global front also, we have out of the world kind of institutions like MIT. Who doesn't know about MIT's media labs? The artists, the computer scientists, the neuroscientists, all they are co-creating at these MIT media labs. And they are also having from emotion sensing wearable to digital art. So this is the beauty of this integrative learning. And at IIT Bombay also, we have the interdisciplinary program in climate studies. At Stanford's D School, that is the design school, it focuses on design thinking across disciplines. There are a few universities that I've taken the example and the studies of, like University of Helsinki is there. That is also promoting sustainability and science that has been integrated across faculty. So these are the few, at the forefront of making these paradigm shifts in their teaching, learning, pedagogies, and the structures. So at TMU also, we are making much efforts into this direction, and we have established centers of excellence, whether that center is of the ultra-tech, or that is into the cyber security, or that is into the IKS. So all these centers, they are working and they are connecting health sciences, engineering, and management, as well as the value education. So here, as the slide also tells, that 17 SDGs, they address various aspects, problems of the nations across, and SDG 4 is our responsibility, how we can make our systems more plausible towards getting this interconnected framework come out with fruitful outcomes, and how we can have the cross-sectoral collaboration. So this is something like aligning the NEP 2020 with, so I have taken the example of how this NEP 2020 is focusing, and this is aligning with various SDG, like SDG 10, SDG 13, 14, 15, or SDG 8, SDG 9, how they are having an impact with the incorporation of all those provisions into our academic system. Dear participants, we all have to understand one more thing, that all these things can happen only when we put them into practice, because the 21st century graduate that we are producing must not be the expert of only one field, but one has to be the connector of dots. Because today's employers, they want the adaptive, creative thinkers who can solve complex problems. If anyone comes to you and says that this is not my area, this is not my specialization, so they are considered to be, limited helpers to that organization. But if one comes out, yes, sir, this can be solved with this multidisciplinary aspect, we can collaborate with this, and this problem can be solved. So these kind of thinkers are needed in the employability domain. And for research also, interdisciplinary, this system that open access to larger grants. Now you see that interdisciplinary research is being encouraged at many institutions, and in our institution also we have a separate record of how many interdisciplinary researches have we promoted so far, and what can be the probable areas of multidisciplinary research at TMU. So it's not only with the national, but also with the international collaborations, and how we can have the real world visibility out of these collaborative steps. And I think the society needs more sustainable solutions rather than just the technical fixes that we are facing every now and then. And there are so many institutions that are working towards this interdisciplinary integration. DST is one of the leading examples for it. And since we are already working on the UN SDGs, so they are themselves very much interdisciplinary. You can't solve poverty without tackling the education, the health, the gender, or the climate together. Can we? So we have to understand that global integration is very, very much imperative. And we have to understand that SDGs and education have to go hand in hand, and they represent the humanities shared curriculum, not the curriculum of any one institution. It is the humanities curriculum that has to be drafted. And this kind of curriculum reminds us that learning must lead to living responsibly, not just this earth, Mother Earth has been given to us and we can be irresponsible towards any of the aspects that have been pointed out in these 17 SDGs. So I would again say SDG 4 is the foundational because it accelerates the progress on all other goals. An educated human being with a quality education can bring about all these changes and can be the catalyst. So if I say again, many of the institutions, they have come out with their reports on this. UNESCO's 2023 report is worthy to quote here, which found that around 80% of the global challenges now require multi-domain knowledge. So this kind of finding is based on their rigorous research, and they found that 20% only are those domains where you can have the single domain knowledge, but 80% requires multi-domain knowledge. So that means that we should not teach our students only how to specialize, but also how to synthesize, how to come up with the multiple synergistic roles. This is important. So, you must have heard about the UN SDG labs. This is an initiative of UN, and this initiative brings about the togetherness of engineering, business, and social science students to co-create the solutions. So UN is also already working in that direction, not only giving the list of 17 SDGs, but also creating those specialized labs. And I can remember that in, I was going through a literature. So I found that in one Indian SDG lab project, the students, they developed a solar cold storage system for farmers. Have you heard about it? Please Google that. They developed a solar cold storage system for farmers, and they combined the mechanical engineering, the design thinking, and business modeling. And the result was the reduced food wastage and a higher farmer income. And similarly, there is an instance in South Africa, in the University of Cape Town, that runs a very, very successful kind of initiative on this, that is called the Urban Sustainability Studios. They have this name for those labs, Urban Sustainability Studios. Here, the architecture, the economics, and law students, they co-design the city planning models, and the objective is to, reduce the inequality and the carbon footprint. So they have the problem in their mind, and they know that which all departments have to be collaborated. So this SDG framework has been taken into, the action by many of the institutions, and such kind of projects, they are embodying the such kind of idea that education for sustainability is education through integration. So all the institutions, those who are participating in this FDP, I would say that please start thinking into that direction, and you can be the change makers at your own institution, wherein this kind of thinking will, I think, definitely create a kind of impact into the real world learning of our students. And I would again thank Dr. Neha that she has got the approval from AICTE for this Atal FDP itself. That reflects the SDG driven interdisciplinary learning. And we are through this platform able to have this exchange of the information as well as the knowledge, and the fact that this FDP integrates the policy, the pedagogy, and also the social purpose, that demonstrates that the university is aligned with both NEP 2020 and SDG framework. So thank you, Neha, that you have brought us with such a relevant theme, and we all are able to understand into that direction, because we are heading very fastly towards 2030, wherein these goals have to be achieved. And some of the, like Shiv Nadar University, Flame University, they are very leading examples of how they have embedded SDG frameworks. Yeah, Neha, anything? Is there anyone wanting to say something?
Nothing, ma'am.
Okay. Any questions do I have from my participants? Now, yes. We have been talking a lot about the interdisciplinary learning, but there are certain terms that we call as the curricular connections continuum. This is the slide that I have come across various during my study, during my research on this topic, and I found that there are certain terms which need some kind of clarification, and these key concepts needs to be clarified if we have to dive deeper into this. So there are few terms: intradisciplinary, multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary, and transdisciplinary. So when we call intradisciplinary, that is within the subject areas, where let us say that we are having the management department. So in management department, whatsoever issues that we are facing that is relating to the finance domain or the marketing or the HR or any of the strategic matters, so they are all relating to the one simple domain, that is the management, In the same way, it applies to other disciplines also. But when we say that it is between subject areas, so that means multidisciplinary is when people from different fields, they are working side by side. Like ours is a multidisciplinary university. We have 14 colleges ranging from medical, dental, agriculture, engineering, management, fine arts, nursing, pharmacy. They all are working side by side, and we call it as a multidisciplinary institution. But when we say interdisciplinary, interdisciplinary is also between subjects, but they have to integrate. They have a kind of, integration in terms of when we are teaching the courses across different curricular disciplines. And they are having the benefits such as students make connections between disciplines, and it allows them to explore their interest also. And changing the curriculum can be difficult, but there are rest of the various ways where we can have this kind of collaboration between the different departments. That is why you must have seen that in CBCS also, in NEP also, there is a kind of interdisciplinary options that have to be chosen by the students in order to have a kind of interdisciplinary learning in that manner. If I'm the student of, let us say, engineering, I can have the interdisciplinary minor in nursing, in fine arts, in management, in law, in pharmacy, and that would depend upon the curricular structure being framed by the institution or the university. But when we call for the transdisciplinary, that goes beyond the academia. Now, how? When we are moving not only within the boundaries of the university, giving the interdisciplinary or the multidisciplinary, but also when we combine the scientific and the community knowledge, when we are taking any kind of knowledge beyond the boundaries of our institution to the society and the community, then that is called the transdisciplinary knowledge or the curricular structure. Like, for example, let us assume that IITs, they are meant for giving the technical education, all related to technology, scientific advancements. But if, let us say, IIT Kharagpur, it is giving or it is having a Reiki center for science of happiness. And many of the colleges now, they are having, or the universities, they are having the happiness departments, center for happiness. So that is like merging the psychology, the management, the neurosciences. In the same manner, when the, as I quoted Stanford's D School, that is teaching design thinking. How? By merging the empathy, because design thinking makes you to, first of all, make your foundation on empathy, then business strategy as well as technology, and then to use it. If we want to make it transdisciplinary, then we have to go beyond that university's area and we have to connect it with the society, with the community, where we can go with all kind of scientific principles that apply to that particular community. So, any questions so far?
Ma'am, it's going so smooth that we want to listen more and more from you. And you are explaining everything with such a clarity that it requires no question up till now.
Okay, please keep on checking the this chat box so that
Yes,
we do not make any query unanswered.
sure, ma'am.
Now, this is the case study that I would really love to discuss with all of you. And this case study is making us to dive deeper into this this particular session. And this is relating to Mustang village in Nepal, and it is relating to the Mustang renewable energy project in Nepal. So Mustang, you must be knowing, it is a remote Himalayan region, and that is largely off-grid and very economically fragile. And a consortium of local universities, NGOs, and global partners, they designed an interdisciplinary education action project there. So please Google it. You will find it very interesting. So I have brought it for you just in order to give you an understanding on this. So engineering students, they designed the micro hydro power and solar systems. Economics students, they assessed the feasibility and the microfinance models. And social scientists, they studied the community behavior, gender roles, as well as the local governance. So see how these three domain students, they did their own researches in their specialized fields. And the role of the environmental scientists, that cannot be ignored here. They measured the biodiversity impact. And this kind of ignorance often leads to the adoption of such projects wherein we have to face so much criticisms. So together what they did, out of this collaboration, they created a locally managed renewable energy system. And if you happen to see the results, they were striking. There was an increase of 24% in education hours as children could study after dark. You got this? There was 35% rise in the local enterprises, such as handicrafts and food processing. So that gave rise to the revenue streams also. And the most important thing for all of us to understand, and as a takeaway, we have to understand the measurable impact on which all SDGs. So SDG 7, that was the affordable energy. SDG 11, that was sustainable communities. And SDG 13, the call for the climate action. All these SDGs were having the measurable impact out of this particular project. So what this project made, how was it successful? What made it so much successful? We all have to understand. And for sure, it was not technology only. It was not technology. It was the interdisciplinary empathy. All these 4 domains, experts, they came up with their findings and then they collaborated together to have an empathetical solution. So they didn't impose the solutions. Please mind this, they did not impose, they co-created them. So this is the beauty of this integrative knowledge. Any question? Okay, then I'll also share one more report, and this report is parallel to this project, and that is the IIT Delhi's RUTAG project. What is this project? This you can take down, that is RUTAG project, RUTAG. So it co-develops the rural innovations. That is from the solar microgrids to smokeless chulhas. This is a very, very generic kind of problem that they addressed. Any? Neha?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm getting some disturbance.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
So I was telling about, IIT's RUTAG project. It has co-developed some rural innovations. Now, what is that rural innovation? From small solar microgrids to smokeless chulhas. Now, how did they do it? With the help of the local artisans, engineers, and social workers. So these cases remind us that, interdisciplinary learning can transform not just the students, but also the communities. So these are a few of the examples that I have taken, the case studies, which have actually created impact. And for us, we need to understand that how they are going to be helpful to accommodate in our curricular structures also. You can see that, as I said, in COVID, there were certain AI tools that were used for early detection and contact tracing. So, but the question arose how accurate they were and how ethical they were. And the answer required some collaborative efforts. Doctors, data scientists, ethicists, they all working together. And you know that Niti Aayog's AI for healthcare projects, that combine data analytics, that is from IIT Madras, and clinical expertise from AIMS and policy inputs. So this is the beauty of this integration. And if I happen to tell you, you must be knowing about the NHS in UK, National Healthcare System there. So they have the AI lab. And this lab integrates the computer scientists with medical and ethics expert for responsible AI deployment. So AI has to be used very, very ethically, very responsibly, and that is why these kind of expert centers have been established there. And there have been a lot of breaking silos case studies, agriculture, IoT, and management. I don't know how many of you have gone through the report that has been published by Harvard Teaching Innovation. So I'll just share some statistics with all of you that interdisciplinary project-based learning enhances the critical thinking by 43%, creativity by 36%, and collaboration skills by 29% compared to traditional lecture methods. These are the reports on innovation in teaching. So we have to understand that how these emerging models can be created. We can co-teach the courses where two faculties from different domains, they can jointly design and deliver a module. See, we can have a very live example for it that we can use immediately in our systems. Value-added courses now is the requirement by NAAC. So it's not that only one teacher can design a value-added course in one's domain, but a kind of integrative course can also be designed by two faculties, giving them the gist of the requirements they need in their particular domain. So there can be capstone projects also where students, they can tackle the SDG aligned community problems, or there can be the learning studios also where physical, we can also have the virtual spaces which would bring the cross-disciplinary teams together. So each of these types of efforts, they can turn learning into problem solving rather than information collection. So we have to identify that how we can make our agriculture sustainable by having these kind of interdisciplinary integrations. If you happen to have any interest, any agricultural university participant here, you can dive deeper into IIT Bombay's E-Yantra Farm project. And now that uses drones and IoT also for precision farming. A lot of startups are coming out into this direction, which are integrating, first of all, the agri-science, the electronics, and the economics. So in TMU also, we are having a lot of startups that they are addressing the agricultural problems, and they are having the collaborative projects like the BTech, the MBA, the licensed students, they are putting together for a very sustainable impact through their startups. And there are so many other examples that we can quote here. You see that how many of you have established the Indian Knowledge System centers at your institution. But yes, in IKS centers also, AICT is promoting the interdisciplinary or the innovations in the Indian knowledge systems. So combining modern science with the teachings of our Indian knowledge systems, we can have the integration of wisdom that can lead to sustainable innovation also. So the projects are also being, the research projects are also being entertained through this. So if you have the Ayurveda or the yoga or any other kind of such flagship programs at your institution, so you can combine them with the latest innovations, and this will probably reflect our own culture, language, and science that can truly create the Atmanirbhar Bharat also, and we can contribute towards the success of this project. So as I said, research and innovation integration, this is very important for all of us to have the joint research projects wherever the research is now based on which faculty you are into or which. So you can have the registration in one faculty or the department, but the research can be interdisciplinary by having the co-supervisor from other department. The cross-domain publications and patents, they are also very importantly needed in today's scenario. And obviously we are having the hackathons, giving more and more emphasis on this interdisciplinary learning. And the conferences are also not into only one domain, they are also becoming interdisciplinary. So these are few of the examples where we can have the industry academia collaborations, we can have the partnerships with variety of the industry, skill development required to meet the skills needed for 2027 to 2030. And our collaborations, like we have the collaboration with MSME, DST, MIT, so that we can have much and more focus on the innovations, and we can have more and more incubation of such ideas. And as I think institutional responsibility also gives us this onus that we have to establish the centers of excellence, that can bring multiple faculties together, students together, and we can have the cross-listed electives also, so that the students can have that as an open selection from or electives from all that domain. And there are so many other collaborative learning platforms that we can establish. So yes, we can do a lot of things, but there are certain implementation challenges also. And because every reform, whenever is introduced, I think we as a faculty understand it faces resistance also. We can also oppose that resistance. I remember that when the NEP 2020 was introduced to the educational systems, then there were a lot of resistance from various universities. Teachers went on strike, and they said that it is very confusing. Obviously, whenever new things come, it takes time for us to understand, and gradually we are evolving and making our systems go with the real requirement, the real intent of that document. So the first thing, the first challenge is institutional inertia. So what does this mean? We all understand that our departments, our universities, they are having the structured framework. They are having departments or the colleges, whatever we say. So collaboration requires changing governance, credit systems, and very importantly, we as teachers, if anyone here is the college principal or the dean, or having the post which is having the strategic decision making ability and the capacity, then please, sometimes even we have to go away with the ego structures also, and we have to join hands together. So at Delhi University also, this kind of initiative has been taken. There is a cluster innovation center. I don't know that whether anyone is attached with it or not, associated with it or not. So they have pioneered the cross-faculty collaboration out of this center and joint degrees. So it proved that innovation can grow inside the system only, not outside it. So the second challenge that we can face is the teachers or the faculty's preparedness. So most of us were trained, dear faculty, with disciplinary boundaries. I am the person from management, he is the person from engineering, the other one is from pharmacy. So sometimes we fear the dilution of the rigor when we step outside of our domain. So, but continuous FDPs like this can equip us with various tools, advanced tools, required tools for integrating the curriculum designs, SDG mapping, experiential pedagogy. And this is how that we need to upgrade ourselves if we have to remain in the system as an important change maker. So the third challenge is the curriculum redesign. So obviously this is the challenge many of the universities are facing, and we at our university are fortunate enough that since 2023 we have implemented NEP 2020, and it is running in a very, very good shape. And already, since this is in place, the interdisciplinary work required new rubrics. So there we had to work hard. How do you grade the teamwork? How do you grade the innovation or empathy? So some universities, they have solved this by using some kind of rubrics matrices that assess the knowledge integration, then collaboration and creativity, along with the mastery on the content. And finally, the most important 5 principles that have been given in the NEP 2020 document, and one of them is equitable access. How we can give the equity as well as access to our students. So we must ensure that interdisciplinary learning does not remain confined to elite campuses only. Digital platforms, they have given a fair and equitable access to the quality learning, whether that is SWAM or NPTEL, MOOCs from any other recognized platforms, virtual collaborations. All of them are trying to bridge up this gap, and it has been consistently been urged by UGC and other regulatory authorities to put that as a very important component of our curriculum design. And dear participants, there is a report also by World Bank, and this report pertains to around 2022, wherein it says only 22% of Indian HEIs currently offer interdisciplinary electives. So you got this? although CBCS was introduced in 2016, and CBCS main intent was to have the kind of, buffet may be provided to the students from where he can choose and pick the course of his own interest. So interdisciplinary concept also we call as the open electives. They were there in 2016 itself, but I don't know how many of you have now moved from CBCS to this NCRF framework, which gives the flexibility to all the incorporations. So imagine the potential that if we double that number in, let us say, next 5 years. So it would redefine the employability as well as the innovation outcomes. So when this study was done, that was in 2022. So 2022, there were only 22% Indian HEIs. So today's study, after 3 years, we can have this also as a researchable area wherein if people are also thinking to go for the higher research, then they can take this as a research topic in order to get some kind of sustainable outcome and work on the project. So the transformative impact that we are talking about, all of us are concerned towards having a sustainable and equitable future. And when we truly integrate disciplines, what will happen? So there is a report by WEC that says that 85% of future jobs, they will require interdisciplinary skills. And that is for sure. We do not have any option out of it. We do not have any kind of flexibility on this. Flexibility is only of the mindset. We all have to understand this, that 85% of future jobs, if require interdisciplinary skills, as well as LinkedIn has also come up with the Global Talent Trend Survey in 2024, very latest. It said that companies now value adaptability, collaboration, and systems thinking more than the domain expertise only. So all these studies tell us that now we have to change our systems if we have to remain into this existing system or for the future. And interdisciplinary education must nurture systems shrinking, seeing patterns, and interconnections instead of being into the isolated islands. Because we all have to understand that empathy is something what needed today, and empathy is required in across diverse perspectives, and actually it creates a kind of, or cultivates a kind of creativity. Because innovation, we all have to understand the key line. The major takeaway is that innovation thrives at the intersections of diverse knowledge sectors. So whenever the institutions adopt integration as a culture, they produce a purpose-driven graduates. So what is implied from us? We have to cultivate the purpose-driven graduates, and those who can design, the solutions that are technically sound, socially inclusive, as well as environmentally sustainable. And I must say that this transformation has already begun. How? Many of the institutions, they have already established such kind of learning. If I say in India, TIS is there, Tata Institute of Social Sciences, that already blends social sciences with management, technology, and for making up the developmental studies. If anyone, I think most of you are from South India, so I have heard about Amrita Vidyapeetham also, that is integrating engineering, humanitarian studies through its live-in labs. So the students, they live in villages to co-create the solutions for water, waste, and energy problems. So they are dealing with those problems by staying there. So these examples show that how the integration cannot be theoretical. It has to be transformative. So these are the few strategies that we have discussed earlier also, and the solutions that we need to take up. And this is very important for all of us to understand the call to action. So we as educators, we have to understand that we can accelerate this transformation by taking 4 concrete steps. First, let us innovate the teaching and let us embed SDG linked projects and real world studies in every course. Whatever is your course, please see that which SDG is linked with it. So that will make your teaching also very innovative and something very interesting for the students also to understand. Then second is the how you can enable the collaboration to actually make this transformation. So let us form some cross-departmental teaching teams, and then they are not having any one team affiliation, department affiliation. They will be the facilitators for multidisciplinary teaching. And this change has to be institutionalized. So how? If we are having some kind of such kind of initiative, this should be used for in promotional aspects also. If any teacher is giving any kind of interdisciplinary research or teaching, then it should be the part of the PMS also, because this is something innovative. And most important thing is, we are doing all this because we have to make our earth sustainable, and earth comprises of the communities. So we have to engage the communities also, and we have to make them the partners for creating that impact. And we have to make learning socially and socially anchored as well as locally relevant. So let's close this. And this is the case study that we have already implemented in our university. That is the LPBI learning initiatives by the project-based entrepreneurial initiatives. So this is the new framework wherein it has been taking place in 6 progressive stages. What we have done, very superficially, I'll be just telling you. More we can have in another sessions. We have stage 1, formation of multidisciplinary teams. Students from different disciplines, they work on a team. Then they conduct the, they identify the business opportunities by going to the, field. Then they understand the problem and they conduct the markets and customer studies. Then the project formulation, analysis, and evaluation takes place. The entrepreneurial activity and execution is done. Then they come up with real kind of, startups or partnerships or some kind of, research papers. And they also get the patent evaluation and outcome assessment. We give them some kind of grades on the basis of what is the outcome of all this LPBI exercise, whether the startup has been generated or the patents or the research publications have come out or some kind of societal impact initiatives have been created. So this is what has been done in reality. So these are the achievements that we have got out of this. Multidisciplinary learning environment, knowledge translation, industry connections also, as well as curriculum integration. So the future roadmap, we all have to understand. And I think after this whole session, then there was a pre-session assessment quiz. So this is the time for a very, very small quiz. Are you all ready to go with this? Should
Yes,
I play the
ma'am.
quiz?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So quiz is how many careers can you create? This is the theme. The tech psychology student. Ria studies computer science, but also takes courses in psychology and human behavior. She loves designing products that understand people. Which interdisciplinary career path suits her best? Yes, answer please. Neha, what is the answer that we are getting?
B, ma'am.
Okay.
Participants are writing B.
Okay. Oh, right.
Writing A. Oh, B is the correct one.
So that means this time we had the variety of answers also.
Yes, some are going for A and some for B. So
But
B is the correct answer.
remember, participant, B is always the best answer. Okay, let's come up with the second question. Aditya is pursuing biology and a minor in data analytics. He's interested in using data to improve healthcare and agriculture. Which field offers him the broadest career options? A, B, C, D.
Some are going for A and some for B.
Any other?
Now the majority are voting for A.
Let's look at the answer. Yes.
A is the correct one.
All those who have answered A, please clap for yourself. Oh my God. I have. The Green Economist, Mehak, combines economics, law, and environmental studies. She wants to work on climate and sustainability. Which interdisciplinary role fits her ambition? Yes.
We are getting A in the chat box. Now
Good
B.
afternoon.
Some are going for A, some for B.
B.
Majority were with B.
Okay.
Yes. And some are with A and B both.
See, I have redefined my course outcomes. Okay. So people are now compelled to think. Arjun studied English literature but added certifications in digital marketing and media analytics. What kind of interdisciplinary career can he pursue?
Some are with B, and this time we get the new entry D.
Mm.
One faculty voted C.
Mm. Okay.
Now B is leading again.
B.
Yes, so B is the correct answer.
Yes. Please pat yourself. Those who have written B.
Yes.
Sana studied commerce and completed additional courses in entrepreneurship and environmental studies. She dreams of starting her own venture that balances profit and planet. Which emerging role suits her vision?
Majority are with B. As you yourself has given the clue, B is the correct answer always. So
Let's come up with
majority is with B.
Yes.
B. It's B again.
Vikas is from an educational background, but learns technology, design thinking, and AI tools to make learning more interactive. Which interdisciplinary role could he fit into?
Chat box is getting flooded with B. Now
Yes.
2 people voted for A, so B is the correct answer.
Those who voted for A, please revisit outcome-based education and this session because you are going to have a major quiz at 6:30. Assessment hai na?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The global connector. Priya combines international relations with data science and economics. She wants to work in policy and research for global organizations. Which career aligns with her interdisciplinary path?
Again, the participants are with B.
Any other options?
All are with B.
Now they don't want to deviate from.
From the given clue.
Yes. Rohan studies mechanical engineering but also learns 3D art and industrial design. How many industries could he potentially work in? Only 1, 2, 4, or none?
In the chat box, we are getting A, C, again C. Majority are with C.
Yes, 4. Very good. So this is for us all to reflect upon. If you could design your own interdisciplinary career, what 2 or 3 fields would you combine and why? So you can throw this question on to your students if you really want to make them conscious about what they ought to become to meet the challenges of this real world. So with this, let's close with a very important reflection and takeaway, Matt. Education, is often imagined as a ladder and one step leading to another, but perhaps I would say education is more like a web where connections, matter more than the heights. And interdisciplinary education, this integration helps us to weave that web. So if you are connecting knowledge, connecting people, you are connecting purpose. So with this, you can have a very, very interdisciplinary integration web. And that goes also with, as what Albert Einstein said. That is a very, very good one. The greatest scientists are artists also as well. So this statement is not just poetic. And dear participants, it's pedagogical. And it reminds us that imagination is the bridge between the discipline and integration is the bridge between education and humanity. So as we leave today's session, let's commit it to, breaking these silos and in our minds, our curricula and our institutions so that our learners can build a future where knowledge truly serves life. So with this, thank you so much for being such a wonderful participants. And I would be more than happy if I find any kind of queries that are to be answered. And thank you. Let's continue breaking silos for a very, very sustainable innovation. Thank you.
When the participants are writing their feedback on the chat box and they are expressing their gratitude towards you for such an interesting and interactive session.
I'm overwhelmed.
So thank you so much, ma'am, for your time and giving us this wonderful treat of this enlightening session that was full of many takeaways. So thank you so much, ma'am.